I'm Eric Novak, and coming up I'm going to take a look at the first ever 2016 Mazda CX-3 Compact Crossover. You may have noticed, but it seems the most popular category for new model releases lately among automakers is the compact crossover. This is a category of vehicle that's aimed primarily at urban buyers, whether they be young adults without children or the empty nesters who are trying to downsize a bit. But everybody seems to be in the game, and Mazda now, with the release of the first ever CX-3 Compact Crossover, is in the game as well. It's an interesting vehicle, and we have it out for a road test this week, so let's get in it, get behind it, look around it, and see what we think. The 2016 Mazda CX-3 features an exterior design that will almost certainly get noticed. This vehicle represents the latest iteration of Mazda's very successful Kodo Soul of Motion design philosophy. There are many traits of the CX-3's design that transcend across other Mazda models, but with the CX-3 there is perhaps a more of a streamlined approach with aggressive lines that combine into a very attractive package overall. The front of the CX-3 features a bold face that centers around the recognizable grille and extends through the chrome signature wings into the headlamps. The body appears stretched out and sleek, which Mazda claims gives it a forward-appearing motion. Wrap-around rear windows and stylish tailgate forms create a distinctive back end, and all combined, the CX-3 exterior designs present itself as perhaps the most attractive in its entire class. Inside the 2016 Mazda CX-3, the layout's pretty good. Your line of sight is dominated in the driver console by two things. There's a large center tachometer with a digital speed readout, as well as a heads-up display, which Mazda is known for quite a bit now. On the side of the center console, you've got your regular sort of knob of controls for music and navigation. It's now pretty common in Mazda since the redesign of the Mazda 3, as well as the sort of topped-up center display. Nice rotary controls here for climate control. There are a couple of annoyances for me anyway. Number one, I guess because it's a smaller interior and the positioning of cup holders, there's no armrest for your right side, which I think on a long drive would be a bit troublesome. I also am not in love with the fact that while the steering wheel has a tilt mechanism, there's no telescopic. Maybe that's just something we've gotten used to entirely. And a third sort of thing that does bother me a little bit, the heads-up display, of course, you would have to adjust the height depending upon who's driving on it, and to do that it's a little bit cumbersome. You're going to have to get into the home menu, and it's about 2 or 3 steps. I'd love to see a more simpler way. You know, if this vehicle, for example, had a memory setting for seats, although this one doesn't because they're not power, that might be something to consider for future editions, because it's a little bit difficult for every time someone comes in and out to adjust the height of the heads-up display if there were, say, a height discrepancy between one driver and the next. But other than that, it's pretty well laid out inside the new CX-3. As this is a compact crossover vehicle, it shouldn't come as a surprise that interior space isn't necessarily abundant. Second-row passengers have 35 inches of legroom and just over 37 inches of height to work with, which means larger adults should consider sitting up front. Cargo room, however, is not bad, with almost 16 cubic feet behind the second row and almost 54 cubic feet of cargo space with the second row seats folded. Powering all trims of the CX-3 is an inline 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that puts out 146 horsepower and 146 pound-feet of torque. It's not overly powerful, but likely more than enough for the urban-focused target market. Utilizing Mazda's Sky Active technologies, the CX-3 offers some pretty decent fuel efficiency. The 4-wheel drive equipped versions will offer a combined fuel rating of 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers, or just over 31 US miles per gallon, while CX-3s equipped with all-wheel drive will achieve a combined fuel rating of 8.1 liters per 100 kilometers, or 29 US miles per gallon. Now, in my week of driving an all-wheel drive GT trim, I put on more than 440 kilometers on the odometer and actually bettered the posted mark by achieving a combined rating of 7.7 liters per 100 kilometers, or about 30.5 US mpg. So in other words, those fuel efficiency ratings can certainly be achieved, if not bettered, with some proper fuel-efficient driving tactics. Canadian pricing starts at $20,695 for a four-wheel drive GX trim, right on up to $30,495 for an all-wheel drive GT trim with technology package. The first ever 2016 Mazda CX-3 Compact Crossover is an interesting vehicle. It's quite attractive. I got to admit, it's probably the best looking vehicle thus far in this new compact urban category. But the real litmus test, of course, is does it meet the needs of its primary target focused markets, that being, at least in my opinion, the young adults, those without children, the empty nesters looking to move down a segment. And I think the answer to that question is yes. It does quite a good job to meet those needs. It's small on the interior, so if you're a mid-sized family or a growing family, don't look this way for it. And while I think it may be a little underpowered, plus there are some little elements on the interior design that I wish would be improved upon, overall, especially for a decent price point that it's set at, I think this is a good vehicle that those who are looking for this segment and meet the bill will be quite happy to test out and see if it's the right vehicle for them. That's it for this test drive. I'm Eric Novak. I'll see you again soon. If you like this review, we've got more of them, both written and video, at www.envirodad.com. There's also a Facebook page for you to like, and you know what? We're even doing Twitter as well.